to studio or not to studio? So, do you want to tell us about your journey, where you're up to now, what your situation is, and we'll go from there.
So I was working, we've obviously gone through this if you've listened to the first podcast episode. We talk about how we got to where we are. And I was working from home. I was selling products and doing illustrator stuff. Designer, creative, whatever you want to call me. I was working from the kitchen dining table.
I feel like that's where everyone always starts off, the kitchen dining table.
I was where I still am, living with Max and Max's mum. I took over the kitchen basically. And then it got to a point where like my business were expanding and everything was growing, and it started off in like half of the dining table, then like it expanded onto the full dining table, and then from the dining table to the sides and underneath the dining table, and then it was like but then I had stuff in the spare bedroom, and I was like, I can't, and it was a hassle. So when I was packing orders, I'd have to go upstairs, find the orders, and it'd be in one of the boxes, and if it was in the bottom box, because the small bedroom is small, it's a small box room, I had to take everything out underneath, and then if it was like one order that was like £3, it was like, this is just... Me and Max's mum had a chat, and she was looking for storage because she has a shop. She was like, I've grown out of that now, I need extra storage. She was like, but you can come and look at storage with me if you like see if you can find anything. I was like, I really want like an office or like a studio. She was like, well, if you have somewhere, she was like, if we go in the same place and you have somewhere where you can put all your stuff, then when I go, I can then pick up stuff, or you can come with me, you can pick up stuff. She was like, just so then we can kind of get the dining table back. I was like, okay, fair enough. I'm reading the hints. So we went to two. One of them was in Stockport, so it was somewhere where it was kind of not accessible for me to get to on public transport because I don't drive. It was one of them, so you'll find like with storage places, there's two different types. So there's like the Armadillo storage, where it's like a big company, or there's like storage spaces that is more catered to like builders and stuff like that. So it's like
a bit more dingy. They're not worried about... No, they're not dingy.
but more like, so it's, I don't know, a bit darker. Like not as many lights. Like I'm paranoid about being by myself anyway, especially like at night and stuff, and I wouldn't be comfortable. The first one went, I wouldn't be comfortable going there by myself.
Right.
There was a lot of men. Men that you would, I don't want to judge, but men that had more likely to catcall you. Do you know what I mean? Do you know the vibe I'm after?
Well,
it's
the builder vibe is you walk past a building site and the cat call you.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, I know what you mean. You're not generalising.
And I felt like when I went, I felt like I was being stared at. And I don't mean that in like a narcissistic way. I felt like, I don't know, do you know when you just feel uncomfortable in the situation? I felt unsafe, and I was like, I don't know about this one. And she was like, I don't know about this one either. It's a bit dark and it's a bit of a nightmare to get to with parking and stuff. And I was like, right. And then we went to another one. We went to like a storage place that's like a storage, but like a big company. We went, and I was talking to him, and I was like, so I'm looking for this, and like she was talking, because obviously she was a big lot, like a big storage space, and I was like, I'm not really looking for something that big, like I'm just really want something to put my stuff in. Like ideally I would like an office, but I can't really find offices, because I've looked, and there's like studios, art studios in the centre of Manchester, but then where they are, they're like kind of down dark alleys, so I wouldn't feel comfortable going. So like if the ones that were available, like if I was to rent there, I don't know if I would ever go, because would I be comfortable going? I'm not paying all that money, especially in the centre of Manchester, to get there. And then it's obviously not just the studio itself, it's like how to get there, and do you know what I mean?
That's it for me, So it's if it's too far away, you won't go.
Exactly. And it's like, then I'm paying all that money for what? For nothing.
Yeah.
And just the storage space. Actually, it was like, we do actually have some office spaces in here in the storage place. It was like, so you can either get an office space and he was telling me, so there was office spaces inside the storage bit, and then there was office spaces outside. So the ones that were outside had windows, and the one that inside didn't. I couldn't afford the office space on the outside
with the windows.
It was like £600 a month, and I was like, what? But then the one on the inside was a small room on the inside with no window to the outside. So I did have a window, but it was kind of window from the inside of the storage place.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, like £200 and something a month. And I was like, that's a lot of money. But I was like, no, but I need to do this. I need to have my own space. I need to have a space that's mine. So
it's the next step.
Well, yeah, it is the next step. And I moved in there on in February 2021.
So it's not really that long ago, like a year, nearly a year.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be a year since when we put this out. It's probably end of...
Yes, it was the beginning of February, and I put it. I remember I was in a vision board call with Gabby from Good Business, and she was like, "Let's do vision boards. Like, let's try and chat about what you want to do next year." And I was doing the podcast then with Good Business. I was a regular.
I listened to that.
It's such a good podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's so insightful.
I listened to yours, yeah.
Yes, I was on that and we was chatting about that. Was it? Yeah, so we were chatting about that. She was like, "What do you want to do for like this year? What do you want to do for 2021? Like what's the vibe?" And I was like, "Oh, by the end of the year, I want to have my own place. Like I want to like have my own like studio or office space. I want to do this, want to do that." And then by February, I was in. So I'd like
that's crazy. You manifested it. You manifested it in your vision board.
So I wanted it by the end of the year. But yeah, no. So I ended up moving in February. And I was like, but this is it. This is one thing I will say. You don't know what you need out of a space until you test them out.
Yeah.
And if you are in a position to test a few out, do it. Because when I moved in, I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. I've got racking. I've got my desk. I got everything secondhand or everything off eBay, dead cheap. I think it cost me about... I don't know, in the end, maybe like 150 quid to kit it all out because I got stuff on. I got stuff for free on Facebook Marketplace. I had friends give me desks. I had someone found like a chair and stuff. The only thing that I think I bought for that was the racking, and it cost me £90, and then something else that.
Well, that's the most important thing you need anyway for like utility.
Because I wanted shelving, but shelving's expensive.
Yeah.
And I was looking on IKEA, and I need something cheap, but then everything was like not really fit for purpose for me because I had big boxes, so I needed something kind of industrial, but something that still looked quite cute. And I managed to find like racking, white racking on eBay, and I was like,
didn't you paint them? I thinking this right?
Painted the slats because the slats were brown. I painted them pink.
Love it. On brand.
Oh, it's very on brand. But yeah, no, so I moved in there in February and I was there and I was like, this is perfect. So I'm from Sale and this was in Cheadle. To get there by public transport, nightmare. However,
how did you get there?
Literally one stop on the motorway or something. So Max used to drop me off
on the way to his work.
On the way to his work because that's where he works around there. He does like some jobs around there, so it's like it worked out very well. And obviously, if Sue was going in the morning, she was like, "I can take you to this morning." Which I was
that's really good.
Yeah, very thankful and very grateful for all like because they did take me to work every day and pick me up. After a while, I was like, I'm not speaking to anybody now. I'm by myself. I'm away from home, and because it was in the middle of an industrial estate, there was like a little retail part behind me, but it had like a Halfords on it and a TK Maxx and a Costa, but other than that there was nowhere. Everything else was like Tops for Tiles or like a paint stuff, and so it was a very like industrial estate.
So it's not like on your lunch break you go, oh, I'm just gonna go for a walk around here and like
because everything was industrial estate or motorway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like, so I was stuck there and I was like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit like closed in here because it's like 100 square foot sounds like a big space, but it's not in the grand scheme of things, especially once you've got like your desk and all your products and stuff inside. But I was so grateful for it though because it helped me. So the issue that I had before going into the studio was I struggled to when to turn off. So I would work from when I go up to when I went to sleep. So I was putting in these fucking like 16-hour shifts of just headphones on, in my laptop, let's try and get as much stuff in, let's try and do Instagram and all these kind of stuff and client working and everything. And it was just, I felt like I was really succeeding because I was like hustling and I was doing the grind.
That's it.
And it was amazing because everybody else around me was like, you work until you drop. And it's, do you know what I mean? Like on like social media and stuff, you work until you drop.
It's that capitalist society that we're in that like really praises
if you don't
that.
hustle all the time, you're never going to succeed. And
I
was like, like put in the work, put in the hours and take what's hours. What's that, The Rock? But so I was doing that and then it helped me switch off. So like I'd go to the studio at 9 o'clock and then Max would pick me up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, maybe 7, 8 if we were having a late day. But then as soon as I was home,
late. You were home. See, that's what I've not got.
I would leave my laptop at the studio.
Yeah, I've not got that here. I've not got that. And I sometimes get up, go straight on my laptop, and then it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I've not even got dressed yet. And I'm like, I've not even eaten. I just go straight into it and it's really hard. And like, so we're in my like little office spare room situation now, but I don't ever really work in it. I just always feel like I gravitate towards the sofa, and I don't know why.
Well,
and then when
it's your house, it's the most comfortable place that you can
yeah,
be.
and I feel like maybe with mental health at the moment, I'm just really focusing on trying to feel as comfortable as possible. So I'm always on the sofa watching Friends in the background, like feeling as comfy as possible. But then George comes back from work, and then I'm still doing work at 10 o'clock at night while we're watching TV, and I think that's really unhealthy for our relationship and also very unhealthy for me. So I do feel like maybe I just need to start working in here and have this as a space.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know if I would be where I am now if I wouldn't have moved out into the studio space. I don't know if I would have,
you probably
it would have
wouldn't.
got too much. Because that's it. It is a big commitment, like, because obviously you got to pay the rent for the studio and stuff, and that was the first time being an adult that I've had that commitment. Because obviously, luckily, like I said, like I live with Max's mum and Max, and the only really thing that I've had to pay for since being young is like, obviously when I was at uni I had to pay rent, but I mean, like, I got student finance for that.
Yeah, and it just goes straight into it, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't other than a phone bill. Like, I've not really had to, like, I pay for like all my subscriptions and stuff, but like that was like the big thing where it's like, right, I have to make sure I have this every month, and I don't know if I can afford it. But then obviously because I was going to work, I found that I was being more productive in them short hours than what I was. So for a 16-hour day that I was doing before, maybe even more than that if I'm being honest, 16-hour day that I was doing before, I'm now doing 8 hours, but I'm actually getting more work done because when I'm in the office I'm like, right, okay, I need to do this and this. Right, now I'm in work mode and I've not got any distractions, and I've got lunch with me, so that's fine. I can just work through lunch and I kind of get everything done. And then it means that, like, I used to leave my laptop at the office.
That's really good.
Yeah. When I was in the office, I used to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so it was 4 days a week because I'd have Monday off. Just because I wanted like a 3-day long week. I feel like weekends should be 3 days, if I'm being honest.
I think they should be 4.
I think nobody should work.
Yeah, I think we should all just live in a big commune.
Yeah. So I think that really helped in that aspect, and that solidified to me being like, right, I need a space for me to work. I need a space for me to create healthy boundaries for work and life. I need a space for me to express myself, and I need a space for this. But like I said, it got to a point where it was getting me down a bit because I felt like I was trapped in the tin shed, and I didn't really have like for example, just to kind of give you an insight into the environment that I was around, there was like a solicitor's next door to me, and then there was an accountant. So it was kind of like people who were using it as like spaces for themselves, but it weren't like a creative space. And because it was a very like particular space, I couldn't really do anything to the space. It was like, it had like, do you know that really wiry carpet and like white walls, and it had like really harsh like white lights.
Yeah.
And it was like, I tried to be as creative as I can with like putting prints on the walls, but it never really felt like my space. I felt like this was like the stepping stone to get into it.